Buddy? How many here are from Portugal?
Almost everyone.
How many here are not from Portugal?
I'm not from Portugal.
You got some Spain there, and,
Yes.
and that's it? Spain and Portugal.
Germany.
And Germany.
Yes.
And UK, right here. And Canada. There we go. I'm really happy to be here, guys. I thank you for the invitation. You led the charge. I've been here for a couple days, staying in Porto, and my first time in Portugal. I've traveled a lot, and I really love your country because I love history, and I'm a Canadian. Our history is 100 years old, our modern history. So I come here, and I think it's like it breaks my heart to see the history here. I love it so much. So let me tell you. How should I start this? I'm going to tell you about my story. That's what I'm going to tell you about first. Okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can you understand me okay?
Yes, sir.
If you don't understand something I say, just raise your hand and I will repeat it. Okay? Just yell and say, what did you say? I'm from Canada. I'm from northern Canada. I grew up in the wilderness of Canada. I grew up in the forest. Very far north, in snow, and in a log cabin with no electricity, no running water. We caught fish with a willow pole, and I know how to survive in the wilderness. Until I was 19 years old, I never saw a city of any kind. Just a small town of 1,200 people. And so I lived in the wilderness, and I thought, I'm never going to leave this. I used to crawl through the forest and with moccasins on my feet, and sneak through the forest, and with a knife on my side and a rifle on my back, and I loved it. I loved it. If you saw the movie Into the Wild, I saw that, and I'm like, and he moves into that bus. I thought, when I was a kid, if I saw that bus, I would move in there. That's perfect. That's a great place to stay. So I had that experience of like living in the wilderness, and I had no. I went as I became a teenager, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old. I was further and further into the wilderness. My last grade, my last year of school. Formal education, I was 13 years old. And then I didn't have school after that. So, when I was about 19 is when I came out of that and into society, as you could say. And I had no idea, realistically, how the world works. I didn't know, for instance, that I could, as a Canadian, I could go and get a college education. I didn't know this. I thought I have to get a job and try and survive. I have to get money to eat. And because we were poor in the wilderness. And I had no real understanding of interacting with women. And I loved girls. When I was 18, 19, I loved girls, and that's all I thought about was girls. Girls, 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 and nothing else. And I have never thought about anything else since, to be honest. The only thing I've ever loved in my entire life, the only thing that has ever motivated me for anything is women. Nothing else in this entire world. I've dedicated my life to women. I have a great knowledge of women. And I've spent most of those years, since I was 19, in the company and in the arms of women, trying to understand the women's mind and the women's heart. I wanted to know. I wanted to know everything about women. So I came out of there at 19 years old, and I was. You guys understand seduction community terms like AFC?
Yes.
Yeah. Number one. I'm not kidding. It's embarrassing when I think of it. I'm completely embarrassed when I think of it. I was the most insecure, needy, crying guy to women when I was 19, 20 years old. I have stories that are embarrassing stories, where the girl would be like, I would ask a girl on a date, she'd go on a date with me, and then I'm buying her flowers and like showing up at her door like this, and to the point where they're like, okay, this guy's really needy, too much, and they would, not want to see me anymore, and I would say, I understand it, and I'll be there for you. I understand, and I'm right here, and yeah, I was really needy and very insecure because I had no idea. I'd never interacted with women really. So I was the number one AFC in the world at one point, and but I really loved women. Did you guys see the movie Hitch?
Yes.
Right? You see that in the scene in the movie Hitch where he flashes back. He flashes back to when he was in college, and he's got braces on his teeth, and the girl he likes getting into the car with the guy, and he's up against the window of the car and goes, he's crying, don't leave me. And she's driving away with the guy in the car. Did you remember that scene? I saw that in the movie theater, and I'm like, I can't watch this. Because I did the same thing exactly. I had the same story. It's like that movie was made about my life. I'm not kidding. There's a girl I liked, and was seeing her for a few weeks, and I thought she was the one of my dreams, the only girl I ever loved for the rest of my life. And I have that same scene where she was getting on the back of a motorcycle, and I'm standing outside of her apartment. I came over and they ding dong and tried to knock on her door, and she's like, and the guy came to pick her up on his motorcycles, and she's getting on the back of the motorcycle, and he's going, who's this guy? And she's going, I don't know, let's go. And I'm like this, crying. Come on, that's embarrassing. And I'm crying and saying, I understand, you have to go see, but you'll find out eventually that I'm really the good guy. He's a bad guy. Oh. Yeah, so I put in my time. I have so many stories like that, guys, where my early 20s, you guys are in your early 20s? Yeah, well, I had no clue about women at all. None. But I loved women and the idea of women more than anything else on earth. And it's still my first love. I like history. Like I very much like history, like the history of Coimbra and Porto. To me, it's like I said earlier, I love it. It's beautiful here, guys. To me, it's like, I'm excited. It's enchanting to me. And I love words. I'm writing a book right now. I just finished my book about women. And I love words and the way words go together. I love words and I love history. And I play a little guitar. But women is my only hobby in this world. My number one love of all time. I think the greatest student of women in the history of mankind. There you go. When I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and I was not understanding the hearts and minds of women, and I said, I'm going to become, I made it my task and my choice. I said, I'm going to become the greatest lover a woman's ever known. How? I don't know. This is before the internet. I'm old. This is before any such thing as a seduction community. There was nothing. There was nobody out there to give me, at 20 years old, in any kind of instruction. I had no teachers. I had no mentors. I had no man ever say to me, you know what, this is what you do. You say this, you stand like this. Didn't have it. Anything that I know, anything I can say to you today, is I learned it from experience and failure. That's it. And I have a lot of experience, a lot of failure. So I said I'm become the student of women. There was no books about it. There was no programs, no DVDs, no workshops, no seminars, none of that kind of stuff, no boot camps. There was nothing. And so I learned everything I know from women themselves. I never had a coach or a mentor or anybody to say, this is how you do it. Here's the secret about women. Never. I learned everything I know from women. From trying to date a girl, to trying to have a girl in my bed, to trying thousands of times, I used to go to the bar by myself and lean on the bar like this all night long and trying to understand the dynamic of the room. For years, I went into a bar 4 nights a week by myself, trying to understand it. And just trying to understand like the rhythm of women and the way women are and the way men and women are interacting. And I had a lot of failure. Like I said, embarrassing failures, guys. And I never stopped. Everything I learned, everything I know about women, and I know a lot about women. I know more about women than any man that I know. That's a pretty bold statement. That's a big claim. But it's true. To me, it is. I have a great intuition about women. It's because I've spent 30 years talking to women, trying to understand the mind of women, asking them questions. You slept with me, and you just met me. Why? I want to know why. I want to know why. Curiosity. I was curious. You didn't. It seems we were so close, and now every time I call you, you're busy, or you have no time. Why? And so I don't know. So I learned a lot from talking to women. Everything I know, I've learned from women. I have nothing original to me. Nothing. And so, as I said, women have been the only purpose of my life. We all know we should find your purpose in life, right? You've all heard this, right? My purpose in life is women. And that's all I've ever done. I've dedicated my life to women. I have, in those years since then, 20 years old, I'll continue my story. I went into the corporate world, and I got a job, and I educated myself. I had no education, but I educated myself. And so I got a corporate job, and I worked my way through the corporations to the point where I was a senior executive position in a major corporation. My office was next to the president's, and I had a great job, and I was in charge of the IT department because I self-educated myself in computers. I'm a computer programmer, I'm a web developer, I know all that stuff, I'm a computer nerd. So I educated myself in that, and my website I did all myself in Notepad. So there you go, just to give you an idea. And I was also in charge of the commodities market for the companies I worked for. So we would buy and sell Canadian dollars and American dollars and this kind of stuff. So I educated myself on that level to the point where I sat at a desk and I had 2 or 3 monitors. I had people working underneath me. I had a secretary. I had a great job, great corporate job that anybody would love to have. And one day, about 10 years ago, I used to think. I used to go to my job, and I would sit in the boardroom, and I would have a meeting, and we try and solve some kind of trouble with this corporation, and I'm in charge of the meeting. And I used to sit there and sit at my desk and think, the only reason I am here is for that paycheck, because they give me money. I don't really love what I do. Don't love it. But I'm here because they give me money. And I realized for a long period of time in my corporate job, it's not my spirit. It's not my nature. I'm more of a freewheeling spirit. And I was sitting in an office every day. So one day, after thinking about it for a long time, I talked to the president of the company. And by the way, it was a Japanese-owned company based in Canada. And the Japanese told me, we are preparing you to be the president of the company. So learn everything from the president. You're going to be the president of this company in 6, 7, 8, 9 years when he retires, when the president retires. And I remember talking to the president. I'd go into his office and close the door and say, see, do you ever get tired of it being the president of the company? Like, do you ever get bored of it? And he's like, well, it's like, what can I do? I'm 56 years old. What can I do now? And I thought, and every year I saw him get lower and lower in his chair, just like lower and lower. And I said to him, what do you and your wife in the evening or the weekend, what do? You have this beautiful house, you have this great money coming in. What do you do? And he said, well, not much, nothing. And I thought, I can't do it. I cannot stay in this corporate world. And so I quit. I gave 2 months notice and I quit. And I quit into nothing. I didn't have another thing lined up, another job lined up. And it scared me. I scared myself bad when I quit. I remember laying in bed, wide awake, thinking, am I crazy? I'm giving up a perfect corporate job that would last me, I could retire beautifully on this. Am I crazy? Especially for a Canadian, it's, the whole culture of Canada is like, go to school, go to college, get a secure job, save money, budget, save for your retirement, retire, make it, it's a safe path. This is all a safe path. And I quit into nothing. And I sold my apartment, and all of my possessions in my apartment, I had a nice apartment with a nice couch and stereos and this kind of stuff, and I gave it all away. I called all my ex-girlfriends and said, come take whatever you want, and they cleaned up my apartment. And that was close to 10 years ago, and I have been home free ever since. I was going to say homeless, but I'm home free. And I have no fixed address on earth right now. And everything I own, except for a couple coins and stuff that I collected, some history stuff. This is at my sister's house in Canada. The only thing I own in the world is in one carry-on bag, carry-on only. And I travel for 10 years I've traveled the world. I spent 3 months in Las Vegas, 3 months in Colombia, 3 months in Panama, 3 months in Romania, 3 months in Poland, and I just travel, because I believe, because I've dedicated my life to women and to describing women to others. That's what I've done. And I've sacrificed everything for that. I've said I don't want anything in my way. I don't even have a cell phone anymore. I have nothing. I just like this carry-on bag. I get invited by you guys, and I came. Because I really believe in what you guys are trying to have this conversation about. I believe in what you're doing. I believe it's necessary. I believe that there's a disconnect between men and women today in every culture. That women are like these aliens we don't know how to understand anymore. And so we're trying to figure it out. The whole world has changed, and we're trying to sort this all out and trying to understand. The seduction community came along, and I had already, when that first came along, what would that be, 2001? 2002? Something, right? Something like that? I don't know if you guys know. Before?
Before, yeah.
When would you say?
They were established in Portugal since 2002, and it
Before, right?
it had existed at least since 98 or 99.
Yes, okay. So, I was one of the early guys that was involved in that way back in the day. I was in Mysteries Lounge before any of this really got into the mainstream. And Neil Strauss's book, The Game, came out in 2005, I think. 2004, wow, okay. You guys know more about than I do. Neil wrote a chapter about me in the book, and I remember all the things that happened in the book as they were happening in the 2 or 3 years before, and he wrote it all up to the book, and it was interesting to see how that took off and became a very big, monumental thing, and it's in every culture. Like, the book has been translated all over the world, as you guys know, and it's because, imagine this, there's something called the seduction community. There's guys who stand up in front of other guys and say, hey, let me teach you something, a little small thing about women, or let me take you to a boot camp. Have we ever had this in history? Has there ever been like hitches in history? Guys who like said, listen, there might have been buddies like 150 years ago or 200 or 500 years ago where the buddy said, listen, I'll help you get a girlfriend. Let's go. Right? But we've never had this kind of like phenomenon, and it's worldwide and it's strong. It's because there's a real need today that we didn't have before, or we didn't know how to address before. Men always knew their role in history. We've always been the strong, silent partner in a relationship. And women have always had their role. So men have always been providing for women. Go to the jobs, and we shoot the animals, we cut the wheat and we bring it back, and the women prepare. It's been around for centuries in all cultures and all countries of the world. So we've been providing for women, and we've been protecting women. We're also going to put up our swords, and these are our women, and we're going to fight anybody who tries to try and take our women. We've been providing, protecting, and we've been procreating. In other words, we've been making babies with women. Our role as men is the 3 Ps: providing, protecting, procreating. Now, women do not need us to provide for them. They provide for themselves. They're working just as much as you are. Am I speaking too fast, guys? You understand?
Yeah, sure.
So women no longer need us to provide for them. They no longer need us to protect them. So women are strong. Women are strong. They're like world-class strong now. And science is almost close to getting rid of the need for men to make babies. They can do it without us now. So we don't have a role. It's just like we don't know what to do. This is why when we talk to women, we interact with women, we don't know, because they don't need us anymore. They don't need us. And women know this too. They say, we don't need men anymore. I am woman. Hear me roar. I'm strong. Right? You know this. However, what women have lost and what men have lost is the one thing that women will always need men for, which is your role, your job. No matter what, all the other things go away, it doesn't matter. What women will always need, women always will be, a woman is always a woman through all of history. Females are females. And what a woman will always need from you as men is to make her shine, is to celebrate her and say, wow, I desire this girl because you're great. You cannot replace that. That's not possible to replace it. The role of men, of you men, in men in all cultures, is to make you say, wow, there's something about you, girl, and I like it. The dress, red lipstick, thank you. Women need to feel that in their heart. They need to feel it right here. And the problem with us modern men is we don't let women feel that ever. They never feel that from us. We say stuff like, we see a girl over here who's wearing a short skirt. I'm using the girl, sorry. Wearing a short skirt and red lipstick, and I'm standing with my buddy, and I'm like drinking my beer. I'm like, wow, that was great. Wow. And we stand here because we just drink our beer, right? And the whole thing is, what women are missing from us men is the celebration of men and women. Of us saying, I'm a man, and you're a woman, and that's a good thing. Instead, we will do this. If Jordan says to me, listen, the girl, you like the girl, go talk to her. So I drink another beer, okay. And I go over and I'm like, hey, whatever guys say, I don't know what you guys say anymore. But whatever you try and say, it's like you're trying to be cool. Right? Because I have options, I'm not needy. Just a girl. Right? And in your heart you're thinking, I really like this girl, I really like this girl, I really like this girl, but I can't show it because I don't want to look like I am needy. And so we say, hey, we start talking, and she's smiling at us maybe, and she's talking to us, and we say, maybe would you like to hang out sometime? She says, sure. And we start like that. We say in English, we say phrases like hang out. What the hell does that mean? You want to hang out? You hang out with your buddies. You don't hang out with a girl. say to me all the time, I went with this guy, he asked me to go, I thought it was a date, but I'm not sure. Because men will never own it. They'll never say, yeah, it's a date. I was in New York City a number of years ago. This is how we are. This is how we, I'm telling a story about this because it's so strong in our culture. I don't know in Portugal, but the rest of the world is we just hang out. We're just like, hey, maybe we can get a coffee sometime, and you do it too, right? And there's no commitment there. There's no strength in that. There's no leading aspect. We're not a leader. We're just saying, if you like it, we ask questions. We say, hey, would you like to get coffee sometime? Or are you busy on Thursday? We're testing. We're asking questions. If you want a little secret on how to change the way women look at you, just do this one little thing. Just try it. Just try it for a month. Instead of saying to a girl, hey, are you busy on Thursday? Or would you like to get coffee sometime? Or these kind of little questions we do, right? Sounds like you're asking her out. Instead of doing that, change it into a statement. Instead of saying, are you busy on Thursday night? You say, you know what? Thursday night we should get together. That's a sentence. Instead of saying, would you like to have coffee sometime? You know what? I would love to have coffee with you. You see the difference in that? You're saying the same thing. But now it's in her court. The ball, you hit the tennis ball to her side. You're done. You did your job as a man. I'm a man. I said it. I would love to have coffee with you. Boom. That is impact. And in a woman's heart, it feels like, there's a man just showed up. There's a leader here. He told me what he wants. He didn't ask me for anything. You cannot get rejected. You didn't ask for anything. It's not possible to reject. You didn't ask. I'm not asking for something in return. I'm saying, this is what I like, because I like your short skirt, your red lipstick. I would love to see you again. Boom. That, I don't care what language it is, Portuguese, Chinese, you change your questions. Hey, would you like to hang out sometime? We ask a girl, we say, would you like to have coffee sometime? She says, oh, it's sweet of you to ask, but I have a boyfriend. And what do we say? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a boyfriend. I didn't mean anything by it. We apologize because she has a boyfriend. Incredible. I'm sorry that you have a boyfriend. I didn't mean anything by it. Yes, you did. She's a pretty girl. She's married. I can't go with you for coffee because I'm married. We apologize. No, I don't apologize. Okay, you're married. I respect that. That's great. And I did my job as a man. The story I was going to tell you was in New York City. I was walking with a friend of mine years ago, and there's a famous department store called Saks Fifth Avenue. See a movie sometime, whatever. It's a famous store. So we said, hey, there's Saks Fifth Avenue. Let's walk through this store. So we walked through. My buddy and I were, and it's big, and it's like 7 floors, and the first floor is all perfume and makeup counters. Counters. The perfume, makeup. Everywhere. As far as you can see, beautiful girls everywhere. And we're walking through, and it's a famous place. Oh, that's kind of interesting. And so we kind of wandered through the counters like this. And as we walked past this one counter here, there's a girl standing there. And we're walking by, and she said, and she was selling perfume. And she held up one of those little white cards, with perfume on it. And to show you, right? She's holding up this card, and she goes, would you like to try this perfume? And I'm like, we're just walking through. Thanks anyway. And she said, and I kept walking. And she said, well, it's really nice. I said, oh, thanks anyway. No, we're sorry, dear. We're just like kind of walking through. So then I turned and kept walking. And then she was like this. She said, a gentleman never walks away, especially when I'm talking. Like this. She said that. And I'm like, I said, what did you say? I looked back at her and said, what did you say? She said, I was just kidding. And I went back to her and said, what did you say? What did you say? She said, I said, a gentleman never walks away, especially when I'm talking. I was just joking. I said, you know what? I like that. She said to her. I said, I asked her name, and I said, listen, tonight is our last night in New York City. Tomorrow we're on a plane, we're leaving. So tonight we're going out and celebrating tonight. It's our last night in New York City. Cancel your plans and come with us tonight. Come with us. I would like it. You're funny and I like that. Let's go. And she's like, are you asking me out? And I said, of course I'm asking you out. Look at you, girl. Look at you. Look at you. Look, yeah, I'm asking you out. Of course I'm asking you out. Look at your dress. Look at you. Yes, I'm asking you out. Let's go. Come up to this night. It'd be fun. And she said, okay. She said, she went back to her counter. She pulled out a pen and paper and she wrote down her number. I said, okay, I'll give you my number. Call me and I get off at 6 or whatever. Call me. And as she was writing down her number, she was trying to do it like hiding it like this. And all the other counters, makeup and perfume, the girls at the other counter were looking at it like this, watching her write down the number. And I saw it, but I didn't think anything of it. She gives me the number and she said, okay. So I called her, and she came up with us that night and we had a great time with her. Great girl. And about a month or two later, I was back in New York City and I was staying at her place. I stayed at her place for a week. I came back and I stayed with her for a week. And I remember she said to me, do you remember when you met me that night 2 months ago at the store? And I said, yeah. Or that day? I said, yes. And she said, do you remember when I wrote down my number and everybody at the other counters were looking, trying to see what I was doing? I said, yeah, I noticed that. She said, it's because I've worked at Saks Fifth Avenue for 9 months and I have never once given my number out to anybody. She said, I get asked out every day. It's a famous department store. She said, I get asked out by famous people, by rich people, rich guys, famous guys, even royalty have asked me out. I'm always asked out. The girls at Saks Fifth Avenue are always asked out by all these famous rich guys all the time, asking them to go out. And I've never given my number out. So the other girls were shocked and said, who's this guy you give your number to? And I was shocked too. So wait a minute. Why did you give it to me and not the other guys? And she said, because when I said to you, are you asking me out? You said, yes I am. Of course I am. And she said, in 9 months, every guy that tries to ask for my phone number or ask me for coffee, I say, are you asking me out? And they say, well, no, I just thought we could get a coffee sometime, see how it goes. You know, I just thought, She said, you're the only guy that's ever done that in the whole time I was there. This is the strong thing, guys. It's because we're so afraid to say that I'm a man, you're a woman, and I like that. That's right. I'll say it again. Instead, we're halfway. We're kind of like, we apologize. We apologize because a girl has a boyfriend and you just met her. I'm sorry for asking you. I didn't mean anything, but I just thought, I'm sorry. We flinch. You know, we go, I didn't know. I have a boyfriend. Oh, okay. And we always think it's us. No matter what she says, no matter what her reason is for saying, no, I can't see you. Maybe she got engaged yesterday. She's all excited about that. Maybe she's married. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's got some problems with her mother being sick. You don't know. Maybe her dog died. But when we walk up to the girl, we get up her nerve and we say, hey, would you like to hang out sometime? It was nice talking to you. And she says, oh, it's so sweet of you, because women are nice sometimes. It's so sweet of you, but I can't. I have a boyfriend or I'm married. We always think it's us. We always think, I failed again. I tried and it didn't work. And we walk away rejected thinking, I'm not tall enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not cool enough, I have nothing to say. We always think it's us. We never think it's perspective the other way around. The whole thing is this, guys. The secret of the seduction community is this. It takes these 5 guys here, and I'm going to be your coach now. I'm going to take you 5 guys, you come with me, and we go out into the city, and I say, okay, you go talk to those girls. Go talk to those 2 girls. You go talk to that girl. You get over there and talk to those girls over there. Go. okay? And you do that 25 times a night, go to the same guy 25 times. He goes and talks to 25 different girls that night. And he's like, I don't know what to say, but hi. He might get a smile. He might get rejected. The girl might go, leave us alone, we're talking, as women do, right? He may get any kind of reaction. She might say, what are you saying? What? Can't hear you. How they do. And you're talking, you're saying, hi, whatever your opening line is, whatever your story is, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is, you just talk to 25 girls that night. And when you talk to the guy after, you say, listen, how was your experience? Say, wow, this is incredible. 2 girls smiled at me, and I had a great conversation with the girl for half an hour. I got a phone number. This is incredible. This is the best instruction I've ever got in my life. Thank you. The secret of it is, guys, you can do it yourself. If you went out and talked to 25 girls tonight, well, it's Sunday night, is it? Sunday. Last night, if you talk to 25 girls and say, hi, my name is Joao, what's your name? And just said that alone, you're going to have 25 different types of responses. You might have a girl smile at you. You might have a girl say, you might have you're going to get all kinds of responses. But if you do that, and you consistently do that, girls are going to become part of your life. You're going to meet girls. So the whole thing is like, Woody Allen said this, 80% of success is just showing up. 80% of success is just showing up. Our problem is we're not showing up. We stand around and we wish for a girlfriend. We wish we had a girlfriend, and we go home alone again. We wish we had a nice girl. We wish we had a girl that we could talk to, that would like us, that would talk to us. But we don't show up. You don't need to know any pickup lines. You don't need to know any stories. You don't have to have anything interesting to say. You don't have to be funny. You just have to show up. Where there's women, you show up and say, hi, I'm a little nervous, but here I am. I'm talking to you. You're doing what 95% of the men are not going to do. You just put yourself in the top 5% of men because you're at least just talking to women. You're saying, you know what? Here I am. I'm talking. That's all you have to do. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to do anything except for, you see girls, and you say, girls, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to say hi. I was over there with my friends. I'm a little nervous, but I have to say hi because I like your dresses. You do that 25 times a night, you can get some great responses, guys. Great responses. Women have told me over and over and over again, we don't mind if a guy is nervous because we're nervous too. They don't care if you're nervous. They don't care at all. Because they're a little nervous too. The great thing is to just show up. Here we are in the land of Portuguese explorers and adventurers, which is beautiful. As a kid in Canada, I was like reading about the Portuguese and how they, a small little country, and they built these boats and they went everywhere. And I think, wow, what a history, what a rich, beautiful history you men have. It's incredible. I'm from Canada, and like a building is 100 years old, and so I have no sense of connection to the long, rich history that you guys have, even though obviously I am connected to it. But it's in your dirt. It's in the dirt of the ground here. Before you go out talking to girls at night, take your shoes and socks off and go stand in the Portuguese dirt. Think of it, guys. Ground yourself to the earth. Plant your feet on the earth, and lower your center of gravity. You have the whole weight of the earth beneath you. You have the whole legacy. The story I say is this. Maybe you've heard it, but I'll say it again. Every man here, all of us, every man here in this room, has or had a father. Think of it. Think of your father.